Hi everyone, it's Dr. Gehring again. Welcome to Unit 5 of COM 300, the summer session. We're almost finished, I promise you. I want to make this somewhat brief, but I am a little bit excited about this week because this is the week where you're reading about a lot of the things that I study. So as a rhetorician, a lot of the research that I do is based on some of the foundational theories by Aristotle, Burke, Fisher, some of these scholars that you're going to be reading this week. So a couple things that I want to really quickly kind of alert you to in regard to these. Before I begin with that, I do want to have a couple of updates. One, I'm actually out of town. I'm available through email, but I will not be holding virtual office hours until Thursday, this Thursday. I'm going to make those at 10 a.m. Please let me know if those times are difficult for you. I know some of you already have, and I will work with you. The only requirement is that you make one of these virtual office hours by the end of this session. If you have any questions, you always want to send me those emails. And so that's the big thing. The other thing is that we don't have any videos because First Look doesn't have any videos. But if you do some searches on YouTube or on Google, you'll find that a lot of people have made videos about Kenneth Burke and dramatism, about Walt Fisher's narrative paradigm. So you're definitely welcome to do extra research in that regard. All right, so the first thing is you're going to be reading a couple of pages at the beginning of this section talking about sort of public rhetoric and public address. You know, what is it that these theories are talking about? And we, in a couple of the virtual office hours, have talked about how now we're starting to get into theories that are going to be really relevant for what's going on in the political realm right now, what's going on in terms of larger cultural issues, and that's on purpose. These theorists are talking about those sorts of things. So we're outside the realm of interpersonal communication, although, you know, if you're really smart, you should be thinking about the ways in which, say, Burke's identification might be moved into the realm of interpersonal communication or something like that, or even small group communication. Then we're going to be reading a chapter on the rhetoric of Aristotle. Now, this is, you know, thousands of years old. This is a very important book. Aristotle wrote on a number of different things. For us rhetoricians, for me, this is the most important book. The other one would be the Poetics, but that's going to be much more in the rhetoric and writing studies area of the university, talking about composition. But the rhetoric's going to be talking about how do we persuade people? How do we have the tools for understanding how people are persuading us? So I want you to pay particular attention. These are also going to be things that if you take COM 350 either in the second session with Dr. Lindemann or with me in the fall, these are going to be really important because they're theories that move into methodologies. In other words, Aristotle's rhetoric also provides us the tools by which we can study movies, TV, presidential speeches, and see, you know, by what means are they attempting to persuade us or to shift our opinion or to shape our understanding of the world around us. Then we move into the chapter on dramatism with Kenneth Burke. Kenneth Burke, I'm a huge Burkean, as they call us. Kenneth Burke is a very important figure in the study of rhetoric. In fact, what he's doing in his theorizations is he's taking Aristotle and he's sort of re-theorizing it a little bit. He's saying, all right, what do we need to understand about how rhetoric works, especially in the 20th century? He's a 20th century. He died in 1993. Obviously, we're in the 21st century, so how can we move some of those theories into the 21st century? But I think what you'll find is that he is coming up with some interesting theories, his theory of dramatism, that help us understand what's going on in our even our current political situations and current cultural situations. One of his key areas, and this is what makes him the most important theorist of the 20th century, is his theory of identification. So I have an additional reading that's available through Blackboard. I have a link to it, and I want you to read it. Don't worry too much. He's a little bit odd in his writing style. Don't worry too much about understanding every little thing about it. I'm just kind of giving you that primary source so that you can see some of how he's talking about how we identify with other people. So very important stuff. Then we're going to go into the narrative paradigm with Walter Fisher. Just as a brief aside, Walter Fisher, our department, the School of Communication, just awarded him an alumni award because, oddly enough, he received his master's degree from San Diego State University in this very department. He then went on to the University of Iowa for his PhD, just like I did. And then he's emeritus faculty, which means that he has retired already, but he worked almost his entire life at the University of Southern California, USC's Annenberg School. So he is local. This is a huge deal in terms of understanding how storytelling is so important in our lives. And in fact, one of the things I want you to think about is what are the differences between a paradigm and a theory? Because he's going to make the claim that narration or human storytelling is in fact a communication paradigm. And that's kind of a big deal, so I want you to pay attention to that. And it's also kind of cool because you can see the ways in which we understand the world. So it's so important that we understand the world through stories, and he's providing us the tools to be able to analyze some of those situations. So thinking about different characters, thinking about what does it mean, even in a fictional story, how does it play an important role in our understanding of the world? So he's got these he's creating a different paradigm from what he calls the rational world paradigm. And so I want you to understand what that is as well. What does it mean to have narrative coherence, and what does it mean to have narrative fidelity? These are important concepts for him. So even if a story, in terms of narrative fidelity, even if a story is fake or if it's fictional, as long as it rings true, it's going to be important for us. So in other words, even if it's a fictional story, if it makes sense to us and it helps us explain the world, then we buy into it. So that's kind of important. So those are the three main chapters plus the additional essay by Burke. I hope you enjoy them because obviously they're really important to me. I hope you think about them in terms of how they relate to things that are going on today, whether it be politics or the movies we watch or anything like that. And I look forward to your scavenger hunt stuff in regard to these chapters. This is also, again, going to be really heavily related to COM 350 when you talk about methodologies. So for those of you that are at SDSU and are going to be taking these courses, you'll see that these come up again in that course. And then if you really like them, we can talk about what courses you might like to take in the future at the 400 and 500 level courses. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I hope you have a good week. I will post about the virtual office hours on Thursday, and good luck with everything. Take care.